Hi, everybody. I'm Ratish Nair, and so my fellow panelist here has just given you a very good debrief of what SEO is all about. I don't have a presentation, so I'll try and speak as extempore on how to leverage SEO and e-commerce for business. I have this Wikipedia page open here in front of me, which defines SEO as the process of improving the visibility of a website or a web page in a search engine, natural or unpaid. Okay, so I mean, how does this impact business? Now, when we take a look at it, you've created a business, and obviously you need customers for the business to succeed, and therefore for you to get customers, you need to have a fair amount or a large amount of visibility for the customers to come to check out your product and use it in the short run, in the long run, or however you want to kind of make a look at it. Now, typically before maybe the internet was there, you would have assuming you're a small business, you would have put an ad in a classified, and then you would have had a brochure or so on and so forth. If you're a large business, you've got much more detailed brochures and so on and so forth. Now, in the digital age, the essential thing is that, of course, you need a website. Now, how does a person get to your website? Most people would just open Google and type that. I mean, to the extent that, I've seen people who've searched for their own websites on Google and then click on Google and go, rather than type the URL that you have, right? So you've got a very powerful tool in something called Google or any search engine. I mean, in India, search engine is synonymous to Google. There's hardly anybody else that you can use. Now, when you were to type whatever, A, B, C, D on Google, and there are a fair number of search results that kind of show up, and if you've not optimized your site for the Google crawlers to pick and show you up, you are definitely not going to be visible. So let's assume that you're manufacturing televisions, and you want the customer to know about your television. The customer is typing televisions on Google or whatever else, and your website does not come up. The guy will not even look at your website, your product, right? He'll look at an LG, a Samsung. He won't even think of comparing it with your product because he does not know that your product exists. Okay, so the first and foremost thing is for a business to be able to be found by its potential customers. And what more easier than finding it on a particular search engine? Now, of course, as my fellow panelists here said, there are various ways of trying to find out. You could have a very simple website, which is plain text, simple HTML, and so on and so forth. However, as things go about, I mean, if you see a lot of new searches that come these days, especially the searches which are part of the Google shopping thing that they've gone, you'll see a lot of rich text, which means the search will throw up not only a link to your page, it'll throw up an image, it'll throw up a review, it could throw up a video and all that. So you've got a whole bunch of rich text that people can interact with, and you literally are more attracted to interact with the result that's much more rich than what you would typically see in case of a simple text. I don't know how many of you own a Mahindra timeshare or something similar here? Yeah? Okay. How many of you have searched for Mahindra Resorts kind of stuff? Okay, not too much. Okay, anyway. But, if about a couple of years ago, if you had searched, maybe about 3 years ago, if you had searched for Mahindra Holiday Resorts or timeshare or anything in India, the first link that came up was this person who had reviewed the entire timeshare business, and he wrote a huge article on why you should not buy timeshare. And he said, and he had a mathematical thing, and he had a logical stuff and all that. Once you read that, you would have never bought a Mahindra timeshare thing. Okay? Now, what did that guy do? He wrote a simple blog. He optimized that so that Google thought that when it came to timeshare or Mahindra Resorts, this was maybe the most important piece of content anywhere on the web, and it's right on top. Now, what does a company like Mahindra then do? Okay, or Mahindra Holidays do? Of course, they tried a whole lot. They did do SEO and so on and so forth, but it took a lot of time because this guy had started his entire thing much earlier, and Mahindra maybe started doing this much later. So as a business, when you start working on your website, the thing is, okay, let me get my website up there. I'll do everything else later. It does not work that way. You have, it's not like saying, it's like you want to have a shop, okay, you put the shop on top of Mount Everest and you say, I'll figure out how people will come here. It does not happen that way. So you need to, when you work, it should be in tandem, right? You're creating a website. Can I optimize the website so that all the crawlers, all the spiders, all the robots that are looking and searching for these things will throw up my website as fast as possible. So, the other thing, again, coming back is so Mahindra had to work really hard over years to be able to come up with more and more, content, relevant content at some point in time for the Google spiders to rank them ahead of, this particular blog on Google, and therefore people will start doing that. So if they had not bothered about doing that, this blog would have been #1 on Mahindra thing even today, and anybody searching for holiday or timeshare would have had a contrary view and may have gone away. So that's the kind of importance we're talking about. And you might not think about it till you start tracking the visits that you get, till you start seeing how many people are converting from the web, and so on and so forth. Now, the other thing where SEO is maybe very important, and some of the stuff that businesses may need to keep in mind is, we're all kind of caught up with maybe glamour or with something that looks very nice, right? So you'll find maybe a lot of sites which are totally built on Flash. So it looks extremely great, and so on and so forth. Again, if you type a similar thing, you might see that guy may not, or that site may not be up there on the search result always. So it's kind of very and a simple site which is maybe more text oriented may throw up on a search result. So when you create a website, when you need to get an audience there, and you know that search is maybe one of the largest source of traffic onto your site, it's very important for you to figure out what kind of websites you do. Are you doing your SEO correctly? It's very difficult to do search engine optimization for a video heavy or flash heavy site. And even if you were to do that, you need to have a lot of stuff like text which comes in there so that the spiders can look and get that. So, therefore, if you look at the way search engines have worked, they've actually created, it's like what they're doing is they are making it easier for your end customer to find your business, or to find the online piece of your business, or the online avatar of your business. And how e-commerce would help business is again something which I guess most of you would know, but again, I let take from one more page on Wikipedia, just for a definition of e-commerce, which says, it refers to buying and selling of products and services over the internet or other computer networks. Now, it need not necessarily be over the internet, okay? It could be on any form of a digital network. And it is not always necessary that the final transaction or the final price has to come on, or the money has to be paid on the internet. There are large multinational companies who operate. I know of a company who operates in bulk silicon, and you can buy and you can do everything. You place your order, where do you want to deliver, the quantity and everything. Everything is done online. The guy has only one office, maybe in China, or maybe 2 offices, and they don't have an office anywhere. Now, everything is done online. It's only that at the last stage where the bill of lading and all that stuff happens, and then the money is transferred from bank to bank. So it's not like you pay with your credit card or whatever else. So electronic transfer means a fair part of the transaction, or e-commerce means a fair part of the transaction has to happen over an electronic intermediated medium. So it could be something as simple as, say, a Flipkart or any other site that we're talking about. Okay. Now, how do, again, these, e-commerce kind of help you in running a business? It is definitely an alternate channel for you. So you have you have your own branded shops, you have shops selling multi-branded products, and you would have your own website where you could sell your products. So a guy has the option of walking into your exclusive store, or walking into a multi-brand store, or coming online, going through various reviews, and then clicking and coming onto your website and placing the order. So it's an alternate channel, and 2, it's a matter of convenience. Let's look at the largest e-commerce site in the country. Any guesses? The largest e-commerce site? Anybody? Now you're aware. Yeah? eBay? Anybody else? In India. Not you, Ramesh. Yeah, IRCTC. Take a look at IRCTC. I mean, travel is by far the largest, and IRCTC is the largest among that. And if you see from a site perspective, I don't think the site is a great place to visit, right? I mean, the experience is not all that great, but from a pure point of convenience, people have started booking tickets on IRCTC, and it's grown to become the largest e-commerce site, larger than any travel portal or anybody else. Yeah, if I were to remove travel, yes, eBay may be the number one guy. So again, it's given. So it's an alternate channel for the railways to be able to sell their tickets. And what have they done in the bargain? They've actually made life much more easier for the consumer. So it's not just about an alternate channel, but it's also about a fair amount of convenience that we're talking about. I mean, once IRCTC started, how many of you would have actually bought a ticket by going and standing in line at one of the reservation counters? You've never done that, right? You do it at the convenience of your home and an AC and so on and so forth. Okay. Okay. For an e-commerce site, today you have a plethora of e-commerce sites coming up. You see a whole lot of apparel sites have come up. You see a whole lot of deal sites that have come up. I mean, whether they are making money or something is something is not the subject of discussion at this point in time. But from a customer point of view, today you have a very happy online customer. I mean, you never got the kind of products that are available today online. I mean, you could log into a Fashion and You, and you could maybe check out the latest Ritu Kumar collection there, and you can pay maybe a lower price and get that. Now, I'm sure a lot of people may have had good experience and bad experiences, but I'm not getting into that. All I'm trying to tell you is products have been made available, and it's very convenient for you. So whether you own an e-commerce site or you're part of somebody else's e-commerce site, your products and services are now available to everybody at large. And yeah, now take a look, and it's not about e-commerce again. If I were to look at the entire gamut of e-commerce, take a look at sites like, I don't know how many of you have used sites like Jungly or shopping.com, and you would see they're not maybe hardcore e-commerce. You don't sell there, but you get a whole lot of information about e-commerce, and you click and you can go there. So there are a bunch of these aggregators who operate again in the e-commerce. Now that's a different business line, right? I mean, to me, what a Jungly is doing at this point in time, and I may be wrong, it's just my reading, it's an awesome strategy for an Amazon.com who would want to come into India at some point in time when they allow retail, FDI in retail, and all they need to use, all the kind of data that they've already started picking with Jungly. With Jungly is not an e-commerce site, but they know what are people searching for, what are people clicking, what kind of products are people clicking on, and they forward the traffic onto the sites. So maybe 2 years, 3 years, whenever FDI is allowed in direct retail, Amazon will have a whole lot of information, and for them it may be much easier to come into India as Amazon India rather than try and buy some e-commerce site. Again, just my conjecture, but that's why it's good. So, if you look at what e-commerce has done for business, is it's created not just an alternate channel, but a very convenient alternate channel, and you have a large bunch of customers who are therefore very, are fairly happy because they can shop at their own convenience whenever they want, rather than figure out what time does the shop open, what time does the shop close, and all that. And you can start, and you could be anywhere. I mean, there are no geographical boundaries, there are no time boundaries for you, and therefore you have a business which is up there 24/7 if you're using e-commerce. And from both the SEO and e-commerce perspective, when you put up a site where a customer is coming, take a look at how you would typically have got customers. You would have paid for media and so on and so forth. In one of the presentations earlier in the day, somebody spoke about, bought media, earned media, and owned media. Now, here what do you have? You have the customer right there in front of you. You've pulled him through a Google or any other kind of stuff, but the guy stuck onto your site, which is SEO optimized, or he comes onto your e-commerce site, which sells a whole lot of product. So what you're doing, in effect, is promoting your own product in front of the guy. So it's technically a media which you own, and therefore what better than communicate to your end customer or get your end customer in a media that is yours, and for yours to do, however, as long as the customer is happy. Yeah. Thanks.